Hello, welcome to Off the Shelf Reviews. It's Gaming Friday. I'm Gary.
And I'm kind of lost with point-and-click adventures.
And today we're taking a look at Broken Sword, the Shadow of the Templars, which originally came out in 1996. We're taking a look at the director's cut, some 13 years later, which came out in 2009.
Okie dokie.
So it's already been 10 years now since the director's cut has been released. This was, of course, developed by Revolution Software and was originally published by Virgin Interactive.
Yeah.
And I think is now being published by Ubisoft.
Wow.
Of course, the director's cut version and some of the re-releases were mainly for the Nintendo and for the DS.
Right. Yeah. Yes.
And also for mobile phones.
Yes.
And, it just kind of makes me wonder. I remember this game, from back in the late 90s.
Yeah.
To now just go, this game's now available on mobile phone. It's just like the troubles I had getting this game to run on a PC, and now it's just you can just get it on your mobile phone. It's just a phone game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, no, it's not.
See, I played this first time. I've only played the demo of this on a PlayStation 1 on a magazine that I got.
So you're talking the original
14, 15, I think it was, when I had my PlayStation 1, and I was not a fan of point-and-click adventures.
Okay. So which point-and-click adventure games had you played?
I'd attempted to play Myst.
Okay.
That's
the Sierra.
Yeah, I'd attempted to play Blazing Dragons on the PlayStation 1. That was one of the first games I got. I attempted to play, like I said, the demo of this.
Yeah.
I'd also tried to play...
You've not done Monkey Island?
I'd attempted to play Monkey Island on the Commodore. But I didn't have the Commodore. A friend of mine had it, and I was trying to play it at theirs, and I couldn't get into it because their parents wanted us to go out and play and get some fresh air. And I'm like, I want to play this computer game, leave me alone. I have no idea what the hell I'm doing.
Sure.
Click, click, click.
Sure.
I was also playing a lot of first-person shooters at this time. A lot of my games were action-based.
Duke Nukem, Doom, Wolfenstein,
Mario, Sonic. You know it. You love them. And then you get to this, and like what I'm seeing right now, I'm watching this long cut sequence involving this quite attractive girl and this clown. Is the clown... That's not the same clown.
It's the mime. No, it's not the killer clown. Now, because this is the director's cut, I was going to say, this is an enhanced version with new content. They literally... All this is new content for the director's cut.
I was going to say, because she looks kind of Archer... like animated.
Okay.
Where I think on the original one it wasn't. It was kind of more like Don Bluth, I want to say.
Yeah, there is a definite difference between in the quality, and with this director's cut, you will notice there is a big quality drop between some of the locations, because the original game has Nico's, the French girl, the protagonist of the Broken Sword series. She's not a playable character in the original game.
Right.
This director's cut makes her a playable character.
Oh, okay.
The only thing is that every Broken Sword game has had a different voice actress for Nico Collard.
Right.
So this game, now the director's cut, has two voice actresses playing the same character in the same game. Because they got a new voice actress to play her. And then it will, because the original game has her character, it's the original voice actress that's still there.
Okay.
So it is a little bit, confusing. I'll also say that the only thing they've really... I mean, they've said they've touched up the voices and... the music for the director's cut.
Yeah.
But there are still some awful sound recordings in the game where some of the voices get a bit muffled, or just the voice actor got too close to the microphone, so it got distorted.
Yeah. Okay.
Sound files are still in the game. It's not too broken. It's
I see what you did there.
Yeah. It's still fine because for me. You mentioned you don't have a big love for point-and-click adventure games.
I didn't. I just want to say that I didn't back in the day. But as I got older and my gaming style started to kind of slow down.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to play Unreal Tournament all the time.
Sure.
I cannot run like that. I started to look at games like this, like Broken Sword, and wanted to try my hand at actually trying to solve the puzzles. Because,
sure,
I'll admit it, I'm not the sharpest tool in the box, but I reckon if I get a couple of these games under my belt, I'll be good. I I tried to play Myst again.
You know, I'll be fair, Ian.
Yeah.
I don't like Myst.
Yeah, I
You know,
tried.
I love point-and-click adventure games, but Myst I really didn't like.
Yeah.
And the guy who made the Broken Sword games, he wasn't a big fan of Sierra's point-and-click adventure games either.
Beautiful to look at, but
Yeah, absolutely.
just
Absolutely.
mind-boggling to try and work out. And I went back and I completed Blazing Dragons, which is a point-and-click adventure. I got halfway through Discworld on the PlayStation.
Very good, yes, yeah.
And I always, because I was playing
That's
on the
Terry
PlayStation.
Pratchett humour as well, so you're getting that with
Yeah, I always kind of wanted to go back to Broken Sword. And now, weirdly enough, like I said, I only played the demo, which started off in a restaurant.
Yes, yeah. Like I said, this is all new content for the director's cut.
Right, so
making Nico a playable character for the first time in Broken Sword, and now I enjoy the fact that I get new content for Broken Sword to play.
Yeah.
The only thing is that this is now taking away slightly from George Stobart, who
Yeah.
is the main protagonist throughout the Broken Sword series, and Nico is kind of his sidekick, but also, you know, it's not taking away anything from her. She's a protagonist in her own right.
Yeah.
You know, solving clues and puzzles and gaining information that kind of leads the two of them on this, you know, quest of discovery.
See, I just spotted that. See, this is the thing with point-and-click games. You've got to take your time.
Basically, yeah, you're going to be moving the mouse horizontally, vertically across the entire screen,
Yeah.
looking for it to change shape or color or symbol, just to give you a clue that there's something that you can do.
Yes, you always got to know it. What I started to notice as I grew up, because I was watching a lot of animations in film and on TV, you could tell the difference between the two layers. Like there's a background layer of animation, and then there's a front layer which looks.
But there's a book on that bookshelf that looks slightly different.
It stands out just slightly different.
Yeah. I think they do a much better job in this of covering that up.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's as soon as you move the cursor over it, it highlights. It lets you know. He closed his eyes over.
Close his eyes. Wow. See, can I open them again? Oh, best leave the crime scene as I found it. Yeah, I'm just gonna put fingerprints all over him. No, see, you gotta be serious, Ian. These are serious games. Now,
there is also, you know, there's a lot of stuff in this room that's not essential. You know, you don't have to investigate everything.
Yeah. But when you're taken into these games, there's always notes and things to understand the mystery later on.
You're kind of like a private investigator.
Yeah.
You know, you're trying to unravel the mystery of the murder and of later on the bigger conspiracy that's going on, that's been hidden either by the governments or by these, you know, historical religious sects and terrorist organizations, and everything else that's going on. You're trying to figure out how they done it, then who done it, and then why they did it, and where they're going to do it next.
Did you ever get to complete the Broken Sword games?
Yes, absolutely. I completed Broken Sword 1 and Broken Sword 2 multiple times.
Wow.
I've played Broken Sword 1. I finished this game from start to finish probably 7 or 8 times. Absolutely phenomenal game.
Nice.
And this is because I've come from a background of loving point-and-click adventure games. You know, I love The Seventh Guest, The 11th Hour, Phantasmagoria, and Phantasmagoria 2: A Puzzle of Flesh, the Full Throttle, all the Monkey Island games.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many great point-and-click adventure games. I will say that Broken Sword is probably the best of all of them.
I'm just leaving the room now. There wasn't anything left in that room for me to.
I don't think
grab.
so. No, I think you pretty much.
So I'm just going to keep heading on, because this is the thing with point and click games. Is like, they are time maker. They will take a lot of time.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's like being in your own film. You know, like you brought up Phantasmagoria there.
Yeah.
Oh, legendary.
Yeah, those are the the real time actors.
Yeah.
Yeah, the FMV kind of.
That's like being
CD
in your
games.
That's like being in your own film. And this is it. Back in the early 90s, like I said, with Don Bluth, with the animation style that he was coming out with all of his films, I really thought that worked well for Broken Sword. It just wasn't for me at that point. I thought it was all about run and gun and kill and get your kill death ratio up, because nothing says gamer like, you know, killing everything on the screen.
Well, also in the mid 90s, games didn't look this good. then that was because, with the point-and-click adventures, you can have those static backgrounds and really just have the artwork because it's not a 3D world.
Yeah.
You can have that, your pre-rendered backgrounds and then have your animated characters in front of it.
But I think they did look beautiful. We just didn't see it like that.
I think that's what I think. I think point-and-click adventure games look stunning.
Yeah.
I think by today's standards, not so much because now, the first-person shooters and all those other sorts of games, graphics have come on leaps and bounds.
3D gaming has gone,
So some of the, kind of, I don't want to say it's photorealistic in Broken Sword, but it's the attention to detail and in the artwork in these games is truly noteworthy.
Yeah. I'm getting into the investigation. Sorry.
You're getting into the investigation. It's obviously her husband who's just died. She's an ice queen. You're a reporter. She doesn't know whether she can trust you. And there's so many wacky characters in the Broken Sword games. I would say that this is not in a real world setting. There are so many lunatic type characters that inhabit the Broken Sword world.
Yeah.
But that is it. That is where, sometimes people forget that, you go point and click adventure game, what's funnier? Monkey Island or Broken Sword?
Monkey Island.
Now, a lot of people immediately go Monkey Island, but I will say that Broken Sword has had me laughing for different reasons, and it is again down to the writing. I think it's a lot more subtle in Broken Sword.
Yeah.
But it's it doesn't take itself seriously. It really doesn't. Even though the history is there, the murder and the conspiracies are there.
Because that's the thing as well with point and click games. I always found because it wasn't so action packed, all the action scenes you had to go through, air quotes, sorry, bunny ears. You had to kind of arrange into a kind of like a Final Destination Benny Hill kind of sketch. Like you had to, like you said within Monkey Island, you had to get certain things to knock over to defeat the bad guy.
Yeah, it was very cartoony.
Yeah.
Well, at least with this game, you had the choice there of having a villainous response or a godly response.
Yeah, but I was going to say, with how you defeat the big boss in Broken Sword. I mean, did you?
Well, it's a puzzle in the end.
Yeah.
It's a case. I mean, I don't want to spoil the ending.
No, don't spoil
people.
it. But
throughout this game, it's about the Templars. Naturally, it's in the title.
Yeah.
And so you're trying to uncover. Basically there's an organization that has kind of rekindled the Templars. They are the New Age kind of Templars.
Right.
And, and they're looking for hidden gold, or hidden treasures, or hidden religious artifacts. The guy who made the game was very much inspired by Indiana Jones.
Yes, I get that.
And there's a great moment where I'm in a museum, and I pull out this wrench that I used to open up a sewer gate, and the security guard in the museum is not the brightest person.
Right, yeah.
I'm just showing him everything I've got in my pockets. I'm like, hey, look at this. It's a disused tissue. Hey, look at this. It's a clown's nose. Hey, look at this.
You do that, don't you?
You're just like, use. Yeah. And you pull out this tool, and you're like, what do you think of this? And he looks at you and he goes, that belongs in a museum. And George just goes, what? Because it's a Indiana Jones joke.
Yeah.
And that's the sort of humor that's in there. It's subtle, but it's also brilliant.
Yeah.
And so for this is as you can see, it's a 2D adventure story puzzle game of murder and mystery and archaeological wonders and a goat. That's how I would describe this game.
And a goat.
And a goat.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
There is a goat in Broken Sword that has ended the adventure for many a player. You get to that goat, and that is it. That is when you stop playing. Because you just cannot get past him. He will just butt you down to the ground every time you try and get past him. It's a goat in Ireland. Yeah, you globetrot around in the Broken Sword games. This one's mostly set in Europe.
Yeah.
Although in the sequels you end up all over the place. And every location is beautifully animated. The music and the soundtrack is amazing and feels different for each of the locations that you go to.
Yeah.
It's very well done.
Right, so I've spoken to the wife, but she won't leave out the house, and I can't use the phone. She said there should be more stuff here.
Did she let you go into the office?
No.
There's a room to your right.
Oh,
here.
no, I haven't done that one yet. Gotta wait for the screen to go all the way across. So you can
Oh,
find
but
the
it's
door.
locked.
Yeah, it's locked.
So maybe you can speak to her about it?
Okay, let's go and move over this way. Okay, walk over this way.
I think you can just click on the floor and your character will just walk to where you click point to.
Yeah.
But if you do click on something and interact with it, it will automatically go into it.
Yeah. Go on. I need that key. To find this mystery.
Now, I will say there is some major differences again between the original release and this director's cut version.
Yeah.
Is that you can see the portraits of each character in the top corner of each character.
Yeah.
In the original game, it would just be dialogue above their animated characters here now. So it wouldn't have those portraits come up in the top left, in the top right corner. That's kind of a new addition where their dialogue is also on the left and right hand side.
Yeah.
That's different. The interface is also slightly different as well, especially when you're choosing where to travel to on the map. It's slightly different. I will also say that this director's cut has less blood in it. They've also cut out some of the dialogue as well. I don't know. I need to go and play the original version to go, did they take it out because it was offensive or racist or sexist by today's standards?
Possibly.
Quite possibly. But I think you have the key in. You just need to use key on door.
Oh, right. Okay. Yes. Right. Use key on door.
Yeah, so go to your
go to my
inventory.
backpack.
You have to drag it to the door as well.
Yeah. Click on
Yeah.
that. Yes, to use your
it's now
inventory.
telling you about
Okay.
Drag it to the door. There you
Click.
go. And you're in.
See, I need to take my time.
Yes,
Like,
yeah.
11-year-old
Now,
me would never have done that. Been like, what? Where's the key?
Yeah, click there. Yeah,
I know.
I don't want to rush you along.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, I mean, most of the time is spent appreciating the artwork of the room that you're in, looking around and going, where am I going to find the clues? Is there something fishy about this frame? Yes, there's something on the left that looks slightly different.
Yes.
So
The faintest of clicks.
so now, click on the painting again.
On the painting. I am there.
Ta-da! There was a safe behind it.
The old
But now you need another key.
She hasn't got. Oh wait, hasn't she got a hairpin?
Yeah. Yep. So you can try it.
Oh, I need to.
I can tell you that it won't work though.
Spoilers.
I think you missed.
Yeah.
You got to be precise. No, you need to be.
It doesn't work out.
Yeah, but what I wanted to point out was at least the character responds
Yes,
to you
yes, that
failing
is-
or coming up
that
with
is-
an
that
idea
is true.
and then saying how that's not right.
Yeah,
But
and you have to do that because
there's lots of dialogue written for the game for all those different reasons. And she goes, yeah, how come it always works in the movies? Yeah.
yeah. So the key I have for the door won't work on that, which
Yeah.
shouldn't work. So we're gonna have to look around the room. Okay. She does kind of look like the girl from Titan AE with her haircut and the purple dress.
True, yeah. Yeah. George Stobart also looks a little bit like the lame guy from it as well.
From Titan AE, yeah.
Yeah. I will say that George Stobart is his voice actor is I think it's Rolf Saxon.
Yeah.
And he's at least provided the voice for George in all 5 Broken Sword games. So there is at least that level of consistency throughout all the games.
Yeah.
And he's great. He really delivers the part very well. I'm a big fan of his voice work. He has a small role. I think he was in Saving Private Ryan. He was also in. He's been in a couple of films.
Yeah.
Not major roles, but he's always been there. But it's something I only just found out recently about the actual box art. The cover art for the game.
Yeah.
The Templar on the front cover.
Yeah.
The
with all
picture of
weird
that
symbols.
man is actually
Ooh,
a prisoner on death row. And that's why the image, I think, is so striking when you look at it and just go, oh, this was a man that was sentenced to death.
Whoa! Why?
And he's on the front cover of the game.
Yeah. Why? Whoa!
Yeah, I don't actually know who the person is, but yeah, when you find that out, it's just like, oh,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
Right. Okay. So I took the elephant from the table. Check the couch. Check the portrait. Check the table. Nothing on that. What's the switch? Is this light switch?
It's a light switch, which I don't think serves any purpose.
Much of a purpose.
But yeah, I really enjoyed Broken Sword 2, which came out, the year later in 1997. That was the Smoking Mirror, and that was more Mayan mythology.
Did it carry on the story, or was it like a whole new investigation?
Oh, it's a whole new story. Every Broken Sword game is just a whole new story.
Yeah.
But including George and Nico Collard. Broken Sword, The Sleeping Dragon, which came out in 2003, and Broken Sword, The Angel of Death, which came out in 2006. I didn't play them. Just because when I looked at them, they got 3D graphics engine.
Yeah.
And I just like, Broken Sword for me was best as this 2D
that's how I
2D
remember
environment. So I was kind of just didn't like them very much.
What do you think they were
the look of them?
They were trying to keep up with 3D gamers because people weren't playing
absolutely,
it anymore.
because they were for the PlayStation 2 they were being released on, and so they wanted the more 3D environments. Now I can see you getting a little bit stuck, Ian.
Well, I was
now
going to go out of the room.
This is something that this director's cut version is added for Broken Sword.
Yeah.
To remove all frustration from players that want to relive this masterpiece.
Okay.
Now, if you click in the bottom right corner, there's a little question mark.
Yeah.
And you can say, "What do I do with the small hole in the table?" I don't know. Just click on that tool bit.
Yeah.
You can click for more hints.
Oh, okay.
So you can click the hint.
Check if you may have something you can poke into the hole.
And you can click it again.
Yeah. Hairpin. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, poke the hairpin into the hole and it will open up, pick up the key. All right, game. Thanks a lot, game. It's like, here's a hint. You're like, no, I still don't get it. Game's like...
When I had the first two Broken Sword games, 96 and 97,
yes.
I did not have the internet.
Hole is here?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the hole, yeah.
I didn't have the internet,
yeah.
so there was no walkthrough guides.
No, there was not.
So the original Broken Sword must have taken me about 6 months to complete.
Yes.
I repurchased this game recently, and after 6 hours, I'm more than 55% through the game. I'm just like, wow.
Walkthrough?
No walkthrough.
Oh,
no.
wow.
And I've only used the hints once so far. And that the rest of it has come from memory and just taking in the story and just really enjoying it.
Yeah.
I will say, for anyone looking to buy this game or get this game, you can get it very cheap. You can actually get the original version of the game is free on Steam.
Wow. Yeah.
Not the director's cut. You have to pay for the director's cut. If you buy the director's cut, you can get the original one for free as well. But just goes without saying.
Yeah. But
the fact that they have the hint system in this game is just brilliant. I think that's really helpful for those that never played the game or are replaying the game, and you've got the internet there, you've got the hint system there. You can just kind of use it if you need to. If you really can't solve the challenge.
This was the thing. I went back in the day when when Broken Sword was first out. Like I said, I was kind of tempted to play it, but there was no way I was going to do it. I needed a walkthrough. Fucking 6 months over here for this guy.
Yeah,
and as soon as I picked
15-year-old me.
As soon as I picked up a walkthrough, I was ridiculed for it because you can't play computer games like that. You got to play it through natural talent. I'm like, fuck.
No, you should at least try and use your own mental ability.
Yeah, but I didn't have the 4 to 5 hours.
Yeah,
I wasn't being allowed the 4 or 5 hours to sit around and just
trying to get past the goat.
Yeah, trying to get past the goat. I had to play the game like within an hour and be gone.
Yeah.
So this is another reason why I never came back to it. The fact that the game gives that to me, and it says, "Look, come on, we know these games are quite hard." So
you now want to smother that in blue paint.
In blue paint, oh right. So put the blue paint on that. And roll it out onto the ink blotter. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, actually, no. You want to put the blue paint on the cloth first.
Oh right. Okay.
No, on the cloth in your inventory first.
Yeah, I'm going to walk over here first because the blotter's there. And then to figure all this out, the fact that the game allows you to know that, just to enjoy it even more.
Now, I mean, I'll say that Broken Sword, every Broken Sword game is about 80% doing nothing, just watching characters talk to each other.
Yeah.
That is it. The other, 10% is solving puzzles, and the other 10% is, just wandering around.
Yeah.
And I'm not putting that down. That's fantastic. You're getting a really great story with some brilliant writing.
Yeah.
Some memorable characters. I'll never forget George and Nico. I know you solved it. Yeah. And and this is, it feels like Dan Brown, the Da Vinci Code kind of, very much so. The Da Vinci Code borrowed everything from Broken Sword.
Oh, you were telling me about this. It sounded more like he stole.
It does very much sound like Dan Brown had played the Broken Sword, Shadow of the Templars, and then went off and wrote his novel about an American who comes to Paris, meets with a French woman who discovers the history about the Templars.
Yeah.
And its links to Christian and artifacts and all these other things, and modern day Templars coming after them.
Conspiracy.
Was it borrowed? Was it stolen? Was it,
Was it heavily influenced?
I mean, this was my first introduction to Templars other than Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that was my main one, the secret organization of people.
Yeah.
But it's weird that the books would obviously come out after that. And when you mentioned it before we started recording, look, it's an American in Europe being chased by these people. I was like, holy shit! I mean,
you can
the clown,
really see the similarities.
I mean, like I said, I never played the game, but the clown is like the main bad guy, right? He's basically the albino.
Kind of.
Yeah, I mean, how does the clown come into? I mean, is he the big henchman? He's not the.
I don't want to go into spoilers, but yeah, there is a series of murders known as the Costume Killer, who's killed someone in Japan, killed someone else in Europe, now killed someone in France.
Yeah,
and obviously Nico's already a journalist. He's investigating the killer. We probably won't get introduced to George in this video, but that's how the original game starts. With him at the cafe.
Yeah,
where the clown blows somebody up. And the person that Nico was meant to meet is the one who gets blown up in that cafe, and that's how the two characters kind of meet each other. And,
right.
The rest is history.
Well, I've just got the ink blotter. Can I leave now? Am I close to the beginning?
You can leave now because you've got the clue about going somewhere, which obviously, every time you go to a location, you're basically getting some clues or information.
I've got to say goodbye to Imelda first, haven't I?
You do indeed.
Fuck's sake.
Now, there are so many great moments that you're not aware of right now about Imelda and her history, and the game really does unravel all of these interesting things. Whether a person who you might think is the villain is actually doing something good, and it's just been misconstrued or it's been misunderstood. And, the real intentions behind characters when you find photographs that have been torn up or ripped in two, and you don't know what the other side is. What does it mean? You really get invested in the story and the mystery, and Broken Sword does it incredibly well. I do hate the fact that I never played Broken Sword 3 and 4, and part of me now, I'm replaying this one, I'm thinking they're all available on Steam. I might just go and get the others.
Nice.
I definitely want to go and play The Serpent's Curse, which came out in 2013, 2014, because that wasn't produced by it was developed by Revolution, but it wasn't published by anybody. They didn't go to Ubisoft or Virgin Interactive or EA or whatever. They released it themselves because it was crowdfunded. It was a Kickstarter. And the fan base is still there for the Broken Sword, and they are still talking about Broken Sword 6. Because the characters are still strong. The fan base hasn't gone anywhere. We will definitely eat up more of it.
I mean, I'm looking at this French setting is kind of drawn in by the graphics again.
I also want to say that there is a script for a theatrical film as well. Although I don't see it being made anytime soon, because then I would see Dan Brown and the Da Vinci Code filmmakers going, "Hey, you've stolen our film," just to kickstart something else off all over again.
Yeah, I'd say if they'd have to keep it animated, not a live action film.
Oh, they're looking at doing a live action Broken Sword.
No, because that would completely ruin it.
I don't know.
It would, dude. It's like a live action Mario movie. And whenever you turn a game,
that's so much more fantasy than this.
No, what I'm saying is when you turn,
you have these lush locations and interesting characters.
Yes, and then you get Minnie Driver playing fucking Cecile, and I don't know, maybe Sam Rockwell playing George. That wouldn't be too bad. But then you've got to try to balance the action. Like we said, the action in this game. If they went full on like fucking Assassin's Creed action in the film, you'd be like, oh man, where are the puzzles? Where's all the little things?
Yeah. Speaking of puzzles, Iain.
Oh, fucking hell.
Here's a lock puzzle for you.
Yeah. So I've got to get that bit.
You've just got to get that bit up there just to go all the way to the left. Yeah. You can, when you slide it to the left, move things in behind it, which is basically the clue, I think the main clue to solving this. Obviously, you can't slide it anywhere at the moment. You can't slide almost anything at the moment.
Oh, my God. Fucking right. Okay, let's try and figure this back.
Some of these are real brain teasers.
Can't move.
No.
Oh, no.
Move that one all the way along, which means you can move that one.
That one.
which does mean that you can move that one and then
move that one down.
I'm just going to say this game is a classic in every way. You could so easily just soak up the atmosphere of every location with all the hand-drawn artwork and beautifully rendered backgrounds. This, for me, is probably the greatest graphic adventure game, point-and-clicker, I've ever played, and I dare say of all time. I've always treasured my time playing these games, and I'm still enjoying it today. For me, this is a perfect game. Great characters, awesome soundtrack. It's pure imagination fuel, and it's an incredibly satisfying story with a great ending. That's so much so that I revisited Broken Sword throughout my teenage years growing up over and over again, and when the new ones were getting released, I just ended up going back and playing the original 2 games again, because those were the 2 that I really fell in love with. So yeah. I can't rate this game any higher. It's a definite must play, and if you've never played the game and you're kind of curious about the whole point and click adventure games, give this one a go. I would say, you know, I'm kind of torn between the original, because that's the one I originally played and loved, and this director's cut, which does tidy things up a little bit. It just aggravates me that they took content out, you know, that it's just a little bit frustrating. But other than that, I love this game. Definite recommendation.
I weirdly enough, looking at this puzzle, I definitely recommend the Broken Sword series of games, even though I've never played them, never completed them. I'm a massive games fan and always have been, and when I first got my PlayStation, breaking into the CD world, you know, I didn't have a PC or access to any of this kind of world, and then all of a sudden it was being given to me. Back then, I didn't get it. This just blew my mind. Like, what the fuck is this? Now, if you said to me, right, Ian, you've got the time to sit here and work out this puzzle, you know, I would come back out with it and I would look into it again, and I'd come at it from a different angle, be like, what the fuck?
I'll be honest with you, Ian. The puzzle on the left side, I solved first time. The puzzle on this side, the one that you're looking at here now, it took me an hour and 10 minutes to get past this one lock puzzle.
Yeah.
I was getting really irritated. I was like, how do I do it? I can't move this piece.
But it's beautiful. I mean, look at this. The effects for the game, I mean, the water is moving in the background, so it makes you feel like you're actually there. You're taking part of this investigation. There's this whole overarching storyline. Great character delivery, there's
great
adaptation all the way
voice
through.
Actors.
It's just, and that's the thing. If you don't do puzzle games, you're not. This is it. You're not going to find anything in this.
Well, at least if you're not into puzzles, you can get the hints and you can just soak up the story.
Yeah, but at least give it a try.
Yes.
You know, at least give it a try, because after a while you might come away from it, go back, figure it out, and be like, oh. How did I not get that?
Yeah.
So, definitely recommend Broken Sword.
And so with that, I just want to say thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next Friday to look at another video game. Of course, new film reviews on Thursdays. You can find us on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Patreon. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll catch you next time.
Au revoir.